Cape Talk. Let us make your business more scalable, robust, and future-proof.
Cape Talk and Nedbank want to help you make your business more scalable, robust, and future-proof. One of the lucky finalists will win a trip to GrowCo in the US, courtesy of American Express. We've been asking you to go to business.capetalk.co.za and tell us about your business. We're about to profile one of those businesses in the company of Pavlo Phitidis of Auric. Hello, Pavlo.
Are you well, John?
I am not too bad. I hope that you are rubbing your hands in glee in anticipation of dishing out free advice.
I am, but more importantly, we have some of the most delicious businesses actually to talk about over the next week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm really excited about it.
And which is the first business being profiled in Afternoon Drive?
Well, the very first one is we're going to be speaking to Dave Henderson, who is founder and business owner of a company called MYeBook. And what they do, it's a business that empowers an author to, from start to finish, publish a digital book. And this could be anything, John, from a few pages to a tome to a novel or a book that records your life story for the next generation. The reason we selected this business is because everything is going digital. You know, I've been reading extensively, and part of the work I do requires me to try and look into the near future and medium-term future around recordability. What excited me about this business is that it helps anybody and everybody become an author in an instant for marketing purposes, in an instant to build your own professional brand and create opportunities for yourself, and in an instant to publish a digital book. And the reason I think it's important is because most publishers, the established traditional publishers, are still far behind on this particular curve. And this instance over here allows you to work hard, create your content, put it out there, and reach a very, very broad audience. The next reason that I think it's important that we profile this business is because this is the early stage of establishing make your own film. Everything digital, where you produce content. If Dave gets it right over here, he'll get it right in all other media.
Let's bring him in then, Dave Henderson, founder of MYeBook. Hello, Dave.
Hi, John.
I get sent a lot of books which are not accepted by the traditional publishers, and in almost every case, I think the traditional publishers were absolutely correct. These are books which should not be published. And so when you come to your business, are you applying different criteria? What makes this work better than the judgment of a publisher?
Okay, no, that's a great question. So the judgment is always going to be there. The books that come through, as you mentioned, some of them do need quite a bit of work. I think the role of gatekeeper in the industry has been around for a very long time. So books have been filtered out, you aren't good enough, we can't take one for now because your book isn't what we typically publish, for example. And that's where we want to help authors, where we don't decide if you're good enough or not. Often the act of getting that first book out, there could be something that starts your career, even if the book might not be as good as it could be for many different reasons. So, for example, authors emerging from South Africa, they're very new to this world, and often they can take something which might not be accepted as a mainstream publisher, but they can build a career all fast. So we firmly believe that we aren't the people who are going to tell you that you're not good enough. We'll help you do the best job possible. And it's up to you to decide what to do with that.
And Dave, I know a couple of authors who have struggled to be accepted by local print publishers here. And Amazon has a service where you can e-publish your own book. And there's some people who've worked out how to game the system, but how to use the system to their best advantage to get their books noticed and reviewed and downloaded so that they make some money. Do you do things significantly different from that Amazon e-service?
So what we do is we leverage that Amazon e-service. It's called KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. And what we do is we take an author from beginning to end, because it is quite daunting, especially if you aren't tech savvy, to get your book up on that profile, on that platform, and do it correctly. So what we do is we take an author's hand from beginning to end and say, listen, we aren't smarter than you, but we'll get it done for you right the first time. And we'll take you through the whole process from beginning to end, so that you don't have to worry about the scary things of what should my book look like, what should the cover look like. But we do leverage Amazon's platform, meaning it is the biggest bookstore in the world. You really should be there.
Okay. One day when I write my book and it's turned down by 147 publishers, I'm making a note of your phone number, Dave, and I'm going to give you a call. So, Pavlo, the next level for MYeBook?
Well, there are actually three. And, I had a long conversation with Dave, and he was so frustrated because I looked at the website, I looked at all the testimonials, and John, they were incredible. I mean, it sounded like an absolute dream. And I looked at this really carefully and I said, Dave, how's it possible? And he said the level of personal service that he provides is daunting. It's daunting from a business building point of view. It is very, very intensive, very, very committed focus. And he's balancing between that and sales. So the one way to start getting that right is to start building an ecosystem around Dave's business. What I liked about the business is that it's presenting itself almost as a platform, a publishing platform in many ways. He has got experts in cover design. He's got expert editors. He's got expert artists. And increasingly, the more of those that we bring on board, that starts to generate more activity. It starts to generate more sales. So the first stage, you've got to focus on sales, Dave. You've got to stick it where you are with it. It's the right place to be. Once you've got that right, and word of mouth sales are starting to come through, you then have to start looking at contracting some of those services in-house. That'll allow you to build a bit more profitability to the business. And the ultimate goal over here is you would have dealt with so many inquiries. So many of them would have been so similar, so familiar. You would have the answers down to pat. It will allow you to start digitizing your advice through a robo-advisor. And the moment you get that right, the drain on you personally will be lifted. The service will be self-fulfilling, self-provisioning, enabling people to really go through the journey with some great advice delivered by a robo-advisor, releasing you to focus on next-level growth.